Hey everybody, welcome back to XZ Chat. I'm Serge.
I'm Rob.
I'm Gen Z.
I'm Gen X.
And today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. So we are still keeping the tradition of spinning the wheel, but we just wanted to, in honor of the recent success we hit with one of our videos, we did a reaction to Sabaton, to Hell and Back, and you guys really loved it, and we got a lot of feedback, and a lot of you guys said to react to this next song called Christmas Truce. And you guys said it would be a great introduction to the band, so we should react to that song next. And so we decided we're going to take a quick pause. We're going to react to this song today, and we're also going to react to the history video tomorrow. Right. That will basically go into the history behind this song. So based off of the song name Christmas Truce, I'm guessing this is about, I think it was during World War One. I did hear about this in history class.
World War One. Yep.
Yeah, it was like, I think it was like a brief, like 4-day, like a truce between two sides. So what we're going to do is, before we jump into the video, we're of course going to check the description, because usually Sabaton has like a little blur we saw in the previous video, so maybe for this video as well we'll have something. Okay, we don't want to take a look at the lyrics because that's a spoiler, so let's go look at the historic fact. On December 29, 1914, so yeah, 1914, that's during World War One, an unofficial Christmas truce was enforced on the Western Front. An act, I don't think it would happen on the Eastern Front. It was a little bit,
right?
Yeah, an act of trust and harmony. British and German soldiers mingled and played games together in the midst of one of the most atrocious events of the 20th century, World War One. And originally, World War One actually wasn't referred to as World War One; it was referred to as the Great War.
The Great War, and the war to end all wars.
Right, and so people thought that would be the biggest war, and there'd be no more world wars. Yeah. So the reason it's now named World War One is because there was a World War Two, unfortunately. Yeah. So yeah, nice little summary there, and let's react to the video.
Okay.
So max quality, lyrics are on. Are you ready?
Let's go.
Let's
turn it up and let it roll.
Oh wow, it's like a movie. Huh. Wow. So I'm guessing this is the Germans right here.
Come on, man. Wake up. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Oh, I think that's the lead singer. Yeah.
Come on.
Oh, I wonder if these are ones that are like also band members, like members of the band. Yeah. Wow. So that's a pretty intense shot right there. You can see all the bodies after the fighting. Yeah. So I guess it's like the next day, right? And maybe this is Christmas Day, since it's a Christmas truce. And you can see it's very cold. There's snow everywhere. So I think it's around that time, right? During Christmas, that's when you see all the snowfall. Right. What's interesting that I noted was, I think, so one side that we saw, the one who got knocked by the grenade, I'm assuming that's the German side, because they have like the red stripes, and they have like the kind of the more grayish uniforms, which is kind of like the Germans' MO, versus the British, they have the kind of more, I don't know if like it's more of a tan color to it, but they also had like those caps with like the front shields. But what I noticed is also on the British side, there's the blue uniforms with the red pants. I believe those were French forces during World War One. So I'm guessing on
Allied
the British
forces.
Right, Allied forces. We have British and French on one side, and then we have Germans on the other. Yeah. So ready to jump back in?
Yeah, let's play it. Oh, quick note, by the way, this is a very real scene. I've seen a lot of photographs from this, the Western Front and in the trench warfare. Dead bodies were lying around everywhere and in decay. You'd see bodies that were just tangled up in barbed wire, and people could not go and save their comrades or retrieve the bodies, because then they'd be shot as well. And that's actually what happened a lot in the field, from what I've read. Yeah,
and you can see right here, there's here's the trenches, right? The land in between the trenches is known as no man's land. And the reason it's called no man's land is because it's just a death trap. Because you're either going to get cut down by machine gun fire, or you're going to step onto a mine, or fall into some barbed wire. And so it's basically just a death trap. And so in some cases they would try and retrieve the bodies from the battlefield, like during nighttime or whatever. Sometimes the two sides would have like a truce, like not a truce, a ceasefire, where they would just like they won't shoot at each other and they would go and retrieve their bodies so they could bury their dead, and retrieve like any identification documents so that they could like make peace with the family, right? To let them know that their loved one passed away. And then here we're also seeing these. I forgot what they're called, but these are specifically designed to stop tanks. So the idea is that like a tank would drive onto it and get stuck. So it would prevent. It's used to block heavy vehicles, kind of the same way that barbed wire is used to prevent infantry. So
interesting. I always wondered what those were.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah, and then over here we have probably
looks like a bomb.
Either a mine,
shell.
either a mine went off or it was like a mortar round maybe, where they like the artillery just fires onto the battlefield and blows up. So let's jump back in. Ooh. I feel like this is a pretty famous tune. Was it Carol of the Bells?
Is that the name of it? Yeah, I think so. It's a Christmas tune.
Ooh.
Silence. Oh, I remember the silence on a cold winter day. After many months on the battlefield, and we were used to the violence, then all the cannons went silent, and the snow fell. Voices sang to me from no man's land. We are all friends. And today we're all brothers, tonight we're all friends. A moment of peace in a war that never ends. Today we're all brothers, we drink and unite. Now Christmas has arrived and the snow turns the ground white. Hear carols from the trenches, we sing a holy night. Our guns lay to rest on snowflakes. A Christmas in the trenches, a Christmas on the front, far from home.
Wow, some powerful lyrics. It has that
It's a
like
powerful sound too.
Yeah, it has like that brotherhood inspired feel to it.
Sure,
and
with the lyrics right there.
Yeah, and it's pretty surprising to call the other side your friends, like the ones who were just killing you just yesterday and like killing all your friends
for a day.
Yeah. Wow, it's like powerful. How can you set aside that? But at the same time, it also puts into perspective that it's like there's this weird dynamic where the people on the other side of the trenches aren't really your enemy. It's just you're being fought to fight in this war that, from the common foot soldier, like it's like meaningless in a way, because you're just killing each other and over what? In a lot of cases, you would be deadlocked, and just for a foot of land, people would lose thousands of lives.
Right.
Yeah,
no, literally, what you just said, for a little bit of land, I think the advancement was, and I don't know this, let me know in the comments, 10 feet to 30 feet of land, they'd advance, and it would take months on end to advance maybe 100 yards. And the death toll just to take that much advancement is just mind-boggling. And like I said, these infantrymen, they were there, but all for political reasons, but at the time too, honor was a big deal, and that's something we can talk about, later. But honor as a concept back then isn't so much what we identify with today. It's very different.
Yeah, and it's very beautiful the way it sounds. Before, like into Hell Back, it was like very rough rough instrumentals and like a voice, and it's kind of like this. It has like a unique sound to it, but this one has like a completely different one where it's very smooth and it's very. I don't know. It's not somber. I'm trying to think of the word, but it's like a specific sound to it that's sentimental, I guess.
It does have a sentimental sound. Yeah, good ear on that.
Yeah. So I want to rewind a little bit because it was I really liked the build up that they were doing there, and I want to get back into it. So. And his voice is really good at bringing out the emotion.
And the snow fell. Voices sang to me from no man's land.
Oh, he's going out of the trench.
A great reenactment of bravery. Maybe even craziness.
Yeah. They're the first ones to step out. Yeah, wow. Imagine how scary it must be to be like the first person to step out.
For sure.
Because even the other side, even showed in the visuals here that the other side wasn't sure what was going on. They like raised his guns at him, and he got lucky because one of the officers seems like they called out for everyone just to stop.
Don't shoot.
Yeah,
Right.
and then he went out himself as well. Pretty powerful, and I completely forgot about this as well. But during the event, they actually did play football. And I say, and of course, when I say
read
football,
about that.
yeah, I'm not talking American football, but
Soccer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's pretty powerful, and I wonder where they got the ball from. So,
What's remarkable, though, again, for those of you listening to the song, is this actually happened.
yeah,
This is a true event.
True event. Yeah, this isn't something that was just done for a video. This is actually
It wasn't just a movie where it was a feel-good moment.
And I think this was
what makes it so remarkable.
right. And I think it was what's also remarkable was this was a one of a kind event. I don't think this ever happened again, unfortunately.
Right.
So it was like
That's my understanding as well.
yeah, and pretty intriguing. What I love is that they really recreated it, the feel, and like the visuals are amazing. Like the production quality is really, really good.
Well, and the song and how it just picks up with this momentum. It just builds up into this event happening now.
Yeah, and it has an epic feel to it. It's really like taking you on a journey, and it's not only in the lyrics and the sound, but in the visuals as well. It's showing you what it was like to be there.
Yeah, I think Sabaton really captured the emotion behind this really well, and the unbelief of it actually occurring. It's chilling. I mean, I got chills watching this and hearing the lyrics being sung and reading the lyrics all at once. It's remarkable.
Yeah, I want to dive back in. Ready?
Let's play.
Let's jump in.
How symbolic to see that piano explode. The end of the music, end of the truce, end of that piece, end of their short-lived camaraderie.
Wow. Yeah, and what I found chilling was at the start of the song, he was saying, we are all friends, we are all friends. And then towards the end there, it said, we were all friends, we were all friends.
Right. Good observation.
Because we were all friends for the day. And then there's a lyric about, let's see, we were all friends. And then, let's see, there's, we don't think about tomorrow, the battle will commence. Those who never made it home when the battle had commenced. So, on Christmas on the front line, we welcome one of our friends. So they're trying not to think about the fact that these friends that the friends for today will be gone tomorrow because we're gonna kill each other. Sure. And then of course it jumps back in, which was a pretty chilling moment because you could see them all having fun, and then they overheard gunfire, and that, well, I think it was either gunfire or maybe artillery in the background, which kind of indicates that everything's about to start back up.
Sure. Yeah. So. Well, and what I see here is also an intense moment of just being present. I mean, truly being in the moment, in that moment of truth, whereas you're not thinking about tomorrow. There's a moment where they actually played football or American soccer, and they were present. They had to be.
Yeah, and what I really love from the music standpoint, like the instrumentals, there's one moment where they chose to drop all the instrumentals and they just have like the singing, and it felt like once again going back to that feeling of brotherhood. It kind of felt like that feeling, and it was like they're all saying their last goodbyes, and they're like exchanging artifacts, like pictures, and I'm assuming maybe some goods like food and whatnot, and then saying one last goodbye. So it's pretty powerful. I want to go back to that last part again.
Go ahead.
I think here the instrumental is dropped.
Today we're all brothers, tonight we're all friends. A moment of peace in a war that never ends. Today we're all brothers, we drink and unite. Now Christmas has arrived and the snow turns the ground white. On Christmas on the front line we walk among our friends. We don't think about tomorrow, the battle will commence. When we celebrate to Christmas, we thought about our friends, those who never made it home when the battle had commenced.
We thought about our friends, those who never made it home when the battle had commenced. I just wonder how you would be able to shoot at those people after that day.
Probably an actual memorial.
1914 Christmas truce. But it seemed like they also carved out a modern day. Ooh.
Wow.
Great singing voice. It feels like the credits of a movie. Yeah, it's so beautiful, and also I love the silhouette effect they have here.
That's what I was just looking at, and with the image of the first guy who stood out there.
Yeah. To try and like garner the peace.
Right. It just keeps up with the epic sound. And it's an emotional, invoking sound.
Yeah.
I guess that's what epic is, but
Yeah, I'm really interested in the history behind this one.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I
And you have the bells in the background.
yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm really grateful for those of you who made the comment on Sabaton and introduced us more to the History Channel. And someone made a comment in the very beginning, like, "Hey, you gotta check out this band." So we put them on the wheel, right? And this was just by luck, right, that we just stumbled upon them. Well, you gave us this band, and we're really glad to have found them. Great sound, meaningful music, right? And the videos are just incredible.
Yeah, and it makes it that much more powerful is that each of their songs is about something that actually happened.
An actual event.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's not only teaching history, but it's also, I don't know if the right word is celebrating it, but doing the thing that is said on the cross there at the end, which was lest we forget. So it's like, so that we don't forget history.
That's right.
Because I think there's a famous saying that those who forget history are doomed to
repeat it. Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I like what you just said. In some instances, and we'll learn more as we hear more of Sabaton, but to celebrate some history, for example, with Audie Murphy. Pardon me. Yeah. They celebrate his life and his heroism. That was a celebration of who he was and what he did. Just remarkable. And I think this is a celebration in some regards that we can stop and look at the greater things in life, meaning rather than just shooting bullets at each other, look at a remarkable event where people just said, let's put down the guns, at least for a day, and remember we're all humans. And as I said in the lyrics, friends and brothers.
Yeah, and it's a really beautiful song because it's like the one time in the World War where like humanity prevailed. And so everyone just kind of set down their guns for at least a day. Yeah. Which I'm surprised to how they went back after that and started shooting at each other. I wonder if anyone was like if I was in that situation, like trying to like shoot, because if you know that the people on the other side, it's more personal. When you're on two opposite sides of trenches, you can try and demonize the person on the other end and say that they're just like cruel, whatever the heck, and you can make it easier to shoot at them. But after going up to them and like meeting face to face and like, showing each other their family photos and whatnot, it begins to humanize the enemy. And so at that point, I don't think you'd be able to shoot at the other side. I wonder if any of them like try to like purposely shoot poorly, like shoot above
after that.
Yeah, like shoot above their heads maybe, or pretend like they're shooting when they're not shooting. I wonder if any of that happened and how that affected the war. So,
well, you said something too that just kind of struck me about an event here, which gave a small glimpse of humanity in a very inhumane war. There were some things about World War I which were different than all other historical wars, like the use of biological gas. Biological warfare has been throughout history, but here it was done in such a systematic, manufactured way through the use of chemical gases. And then aerial combat was very new. And so not only were people having dogfights, pilots having dogfights in the air, but also bombings from the air. And so the trenches, if planes were not shot down, if the planes could reach some of the trenches, my understanding is many bombs were actually dropped from the air as well.
Yeah, and World War I was a particularly brutal war because it was, like you said, there's lots of new technology. There was tanks as well.
That's right.
They were first introduced onto the field.
Used wide scale.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest impacts of one of the biggest technological impacts during World War I was machine guns. Machine guns basically took what was already like one type of warfare and it turned into a meat grinder. So there'd be like waves and waves of troops that would like advance at your trench positions. They like run towards your trench and the machine guns would just cut them down. And I think they showed in the very beginning of this video, they also showed one of those early war machine guns where basically everyone would just be running down and you could, whereas before you have to shoot once and then you have to like reload and then shoot. So it's, the killing power isn't as much as it was in World War I later on. And then in World War II, of course, they just took everything to the next level. But that being said, it was a really brutal war, and you can see in this video they show that one shot where it's like hovering over the battlefield, and it showed all the bodies there. Yeah. And so everyone just got kind of mowed down. So.
But I have to say, hats off to Sabaton for again showing us reminding us, for those of us who didn't know about it, teaching us the humanity that can occur even in the darkest moments, and sharing something that is just a remarkable event, the Christmas Truce of 1914.
Yeah. Beautiful video, and I can see why you guys suggested this as our next one to react to, and I'm glad we did, because it was a beautiful video. I don't think I've ever seen, I have to think, but I don't think I've ever seen a music video that's this well like produced, like this seamless. It felt like I said, like a movie, and it felt like I was there. Like it was like showing me what it was like to be there during the truce.
Yeah. Well done. Excellently done, actually. Yeah. I'm looking forward to doing more of these and learning more about Sabaton.
So we enjoyed this one, and we hope you guys did too. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe on the video to let us know you'd like to see more. If you have any song suggestions, make sure you put them in the comment section below, and if it's not on the wheel already, we'll add it to the wheel.
That's right.
And stay tuned for our next video.
Thank you. We'll see you soon. You'll see us soon.
All right, guys. Take care.
If you try, you just might get it.